And then, of course, I was marinated, as a friend of mine once said, in depth psychology and in archetypal thinking from very early on through my father's work and his way of thinking and telling stories and looking at the world. And then a very big influence was also my mother, who really loved astrology a lot. And when I was 16, I was kind of a bored teenager and, didn't have it hard in school and didn't have other things to do. And my mother was always looking for things for me to do outside of school because she believed school had limited value as far as, learning about life. So she sent me to this family friend whom I'd known since I was a little boy, to go learn astrology with him. And I thought, whatever, I went down there and sat in front of him. I was 16 years old, and she said,
Was
"Hey,"
this in Sweden?
in Zurich. This was all in
In
Zurich,
Zurich.
Switzerland,
Right.
where I grew up. And he
Mm.
was there then. He had lived in India many years. I'd known him as an uncle. He used to stay with us at times. He was living in town. And I went down there and sat in front of him. I was 16. And he said, "So you want to study astrology?" And I'm like, "I guess." I didn't know.
Yeah.
And my mother sent me, that kind of a
One of
thing.
those fateful
One
things
of
which seems like nothing at the time.
Exactly. And 10 minutes into my first lesson, it was crystal clear to me, this is what I'm going to do all my life. I was
Yeah.
16. It was one of those moments. It was one of those wonderful moments that my father writes about in the Soul's Code, where it just speaks to you and this is it.
Mm.
My second thought was, and I'm going to do it full time when I turn 40. I have a lot of things to do before. And I ended up doing it full time when I turned 38. Before then, I did a lot of other things, always doing astrology since I was 16, which is now 48 years ago.